So 3D modeling, quite an interesting one. What tool do you use?
Blender.
Blender is very versatile, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, and it's free, So
Yeah. Okay, so for 3D modeling, what do you think the biggest challenge has been for you in trying to acquire that knowledge?
okay, so I'll say first of all, before one could actually say you're a 3D artist, you have to like master the full workflow of from the beginning to like to the output. So it's not just about the modeling, it's about also texturing, having knowing how to like properly unwrap your texture, knowing how to like your poly count. So wherever you're deploying your model, is it for a game engine so it's not too heavy, and your topography, if you're going to get it animated, it has to, so it's the workflow. I would say it's mastering everything so you could be like, yeah, a good 3D artist. So
I see.
the
So
whole process.
what you are saying is the 3D modeling, the UV unwrapping, the rigging for animation, all those things.
You don't even necessarily have to talk about the rigging, you understand? But you have to know how to have good topology, sorry, so that the rigger, or if you're the one rigging, you can have like, a good rigged skeletal character and model.
Right. So I know people are like focused on, at least myself in modeling. I know that people are focused on key parts. There are people that can model clothing materials. There are people that cannot. There are a lot of people that even cannot, that they would not touch clothing.
Yeah.
There are even people that can model full body and they will not touch facial expression because that's another thing entirely. So do you have a specific, are there things you see as something you will probably still pick up or something you are yet to learn around that line?
Okay, so while I still do modeling, I sculpt. I actually love sculpting because I think it's therapeutic. But one thing that I want to like learn properly is I want to learn how to use certain softwares for like clothing, like you mentioned. Yeah. So I want to learn how to use Clothes 3D. I don't know if you know about it. So I want to learn how to use Clothes 3D so I could actually make like realistic, clothes with proper simulation and all that. So
I see. But you can also simulate clothes on Blender.
yes.
But you are saying Clothes 3D is because it's more focused.
Yeah, I
in that
think,
regard.
yeah, I've heard from like people who do those things like, oh no, use Clothes 3D, And clothing, I've tried using clothing in Blender, like creating clothing. I've done that, but I think Clothes 3D is like, will make it easier. I think that's just
Would
it's
you be able to
specialized.
import your workflow from Clothes
Yeah.
3D to Blender?
And
Have
then
you
back.
used Maya before?
No, I haven't. Yeah,
You
I
don't plan
haven't.
on? I don't think you should. If you are good with Blender, there's no need.
Okay.
Because I learned 3D modeling with Maya. I wished it was Blender.
Why?
Then Blender was still. Why did I learn 3D with
No,
Maya?
why did you wish? I mean,
No,
Maya's
because
good.
okay. So Maya is
Well,
good,
so I hear.
but as at that time, Blender was just coming up. That was when I was learning, but it became not free. That's Maya. Because then I was using student license and things like that, and we learned on that student license. But immediately I left school, or around the time I was leaving school, that was when it became paid. And I also, and on Maya, we did not even texture on Maya. I textured on Substance Painter, which was very good. But I found out that people that went out of their way to learn Blender then, because it was just coming up, they could even texture on Blender.
Yeah,
they could
you
do
could
so
do
many
everything.
things.
Yeah, you could do
Or
so
probably
many
everything
things. Yeah, on Blender. Yes,
right?
you can.
So, but we broke our workflow because you could just, maybe you could still texture on Maya, but I don't think it was good enough. But we had to learn Substance Painter, so we had to break our workflow, and then trying to start learning Blender while facing the workforce. I did not just. I just wanted to stick with my
Your
Maya.
Maya.
Right.
I get that totally. I do get that.